this is the last hunt I'm gonna get to do while I'm here in Kentucky, and I've got another guest.
Glenn Hawker-Smith, I'm with So Into Bourbon. I've been looking for the old overcoat 10 year.
This is getting out of hand already.
1792, 12 year.
$125. What's the price on a 12 year 1792?
It's $249.
That's Kentucky for you. We are completing our tour of Kentucky. I think this is the last hunt I'm gonna get to do while I'm here in Kentucky. So we are hitting another town, Elizabethtown, to be precise. And I've got another guest. Introduce yourself.
Glenn Hawker-Smith, I'm with So Into Bourbon, YouTube channel based out of Southern Indiana, so about 45 minutes down the road here. Showing Mr. Brewzle here, one of the great liquor stores that we like to hit.
So this is your favorite in Elizabethtown?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're starting with the best, no pressure whatsoever. Let's check out, what's the name of it? John O's?
John O's.
Let's check out John O's. Ooh, $51 Willer Special Reserve, sitting right there. $89 for a double oak Peerless. Peerless got me, Peerless. I know we probably gonna do some picks, but you got me, man, you got me. Oh my God, it's a freaking High Angel Share. A whole case of them. I have been looking for this bottle right here at a reasonable price. Now, we can debate whether $90 is reasonable for a bottle this small. Do you know what the MSRP is on these?
I believe they're 60?
I mean, they're expensive for this tiny little bottle anyway. Okay, first place this is getting out of hand already. It's getting expensive. I'm gonna take two. I just have to be a little more selective. I'm gonna take two of those. Lucky Sevens up there can be pretty tasty. Nashville Barrel Co's, they definitely loaded up. Knob 12s, all the Bookers you could possibly want for $105. Y'all let me know about these Cream of Kentuckys right here. I've got a Cream of Kentucky 13. I don't know much about their single barrel program.
I've had the bottled and bond rye. A lot of people trashed it. I really liked it.
Hey, how are y'all? Oh, I'm doing much better now that I got a High Angel Share in my hand. Huge selection, but I'm really close to it, so I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to take it all in.
Hard to get it. I'm gonna try to hold this back to show as much as I can. I just found a Knob Creek 10-year rye. Still got to try it, but I'm really excited about that. More Hard Truth right there. That was what we tried, some Hard Truth. It was pretty good. It didn't look like that, but it was a Hard Truth bottle we tried.
Oh, that's double oak.
It's 4 years old. That's a little. Hey, it's worth a try. I got to try something local. What are you getting for an antique 107 these days?
The antique 157.99 with a Traveler, like a package deal.
Okay, so you get it with a Traveler.
Traveler, yep.
At 157, that's not the worst package deal I've ever heard. Ooh, a Green Label Blanton's. How much is it?
It's a 250.
250?
Yeah, that's a 210 and 250.
Yeah, I have those two. I just don't have the green one. Any of these strike your fancy back here? Was that Toasted Barrel Rye, Stag? What about the Weller Foolproof? What is that bundled
That's
with?
a store pick is just by self, 250.
What's the price on the Stag?
200.
Is he want it for 200?
I doubt it.
Evan 12. Don't see those a lot, but I'm just not a huge fan. I need more proof.
Not a fan of that.
What's 101 proof? I thought the one I've got is like 90 proof. Is there a 90 proof Evan 12? Am I just confusing that with a different bottle? I'm either confusing that with a different bottle or I'm just misremembering the proof on the one I've got at home. More whiskey over here. This is what we had, the Hard Truth, wasn't it? That's what we had?
That's right.
That was pretty good. Here's those Bullet Ryes. They've been marked up in Kentucky, like it's 61 here. I've seen them for 45-ish other places, like out of Kentucky.
Right.
But it's really good. Blue Note. I don't know anything about the Crossroads. I just go for the uncut, unfiltered. They're so affordable. These Redwoods are good. I've got a Pipe Dream. I've got a Lost Monarch. The Pipe Dream I liked better. I really like this Pipe Dream Cash String.
You like the Cash String?
It's so freaking good, man. Have you had it?
I've got a bottle at home.
It's so good. 13th Colony. It's hard for me to tell. I think this is their small batch, not their cash strength. Yeah, that is their small batch. They have the cash strength that's the same color, just a shade or two darker, and it's hard for me to tell at a glance.
World Whiskey Society.
Yeah, they get nuts, these guys. This one's okay. The unicorn stoppers, it's like, come on, man, y'all.
A little gimmicky.
Y'all pushing it. Like, it's fun. I like that you're having fun. It's cool.
Right.
It's just like the unicorn was a bit too much for me. Dude, that scares me to death.
Oh, it's the pistol.
Pull it out. Let's see it. That's the Derringer pistol. Yeah. Oh, my God. I broke the cork in the last one that had the pistol in the top. The whiskey wasn't great.
Yeah.
So they're really indexing hard on bottle shape, and they're doing a fantastic 10 out of 10 job on bottles. This is my beach whiskey right here. You know, if I just go to the beach and I can't find a good bottle, I know I always find that one. More Four Roses and old OFO. We did the Derby video and some folks called it OFO. And then there were people down in the comments like, it's not called OFO. Nobody calls it OFO. They literally called it OFO at my Old Forester tour. So OFO calls it OFO, just so you know. Ooh, here's the double oaked Peerless Rye too. I just walked right by it. I don't have that bottle, but I got the Old Forester 117s, and it's like, are we gonna blow the whole budget at the first store? I know it's gonna be good. Really like the double oaked, but I'm gonna set it back. I'm gonna set it back. And then y'all are gonna tell me how this is better than the other double oaked.
If I were gonna pick one, I would pick the rye.
So I just bought a double oaked. I'm gonna put this, I tell you what, I'm gonna put this one. I was thinking about getting this one because it's a great price, but I don't know what the price is on the double oak rye. Like the Peerless prices are always just so random everywhere I go. I think the Peerless prices is the most random prices consistently across the board. I go somewhere, their small batch is like $55, and I go somewhere else, it's like $160. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. There's no consistency on Peerless pricing.
Have you had the Old Route 8?
I have not. What do you know about it?
So that's a small distillery in Augusta, Kentucky.
Okay.
They're building out their own. They're sourcing from Barton now. But the Old Route 8 and the 13 is a really good bottle.
So it's like 8-year-old Barton?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Hard Truth for my local bottle. And then 2 of these 117s. All right, appreciate it, thank y'all. Obviously a bit of a markup there. Too much of a markup on the super desirables. They just had a ton of this High Angel Share. I've seen that bottle for $100, $150. A little bit of a markup, I'm willing to do it. It's so freaking delicious. And honestly, I've never seen one in a price range, or at least I don't recall seeing one in a price range I was willing to pay. Picked up a couple of those. Looking forward to that double oaked Hard Truth, trying that. I may regret that Peerless double oaked rye. I might pick one up if we're later in this bourbon hunt and we haven't bought too much and I find one at a reasonable price again, but really good first stop. Let's see how the rest of this place goes. While we're in between liquor stores, let me holler at you real quick. Life here at Brewzle is pretty crazy right now. If I'm not on the road trying to bring you these bourbon hunts, then I'm working 100 hours a week trying to make up for the fact that I'm always on the road. But it means I don't have a lot of time to do things like play games. So when Jackpot World reached out, wanted to sponsor this video, I was unsure about it. Like, it's just not an authentic story, and I'm always gonna tell y'all the truth. We're always going to be honest with you. But we have a goal of distilling 500 barrels of whiskey next year, and when they agreed to sponsor us to distill 4 of those barrels, well, you got my attention. That's worth a little look-see. So I downloaded Jackpot World, and I've been playing it on this trip, and it's actually fun. I'm not gonna jump through a bunch of hoops to play a game like a lot of them try to put you through. Luckily, this one was easy and quick to get started. You're gonna get 6 million free coins right out of the gate. Pro tip, if you use gift code Brewzle, you're also going to get an additional $100 worth of free coins to start with. With Jackpot World, you don't have to worry about going bankrupt. You've got 12 different ways to claim free coins, including just claiming some every 15 minutes. And besides offering over 300 different slot games, they got some of those classic mini games like bingo, puzzles, and snake. It's a great way to pass time when you're waiting around on one of these bourbon drops, or just a little entertainment while you're sipping your favorite pour. You don't have to be bored, plus you can get big payouts like that epic win I landed while I was waiting around on these liquor stores to open. So if you enjoy mobile games, especially slot games, give Jackpot World a try and help us get to our goal of distilling 500 barrels of whiskey next year. You can download Jackpot World on iOS, Android, even Windows devices if you still have one of those. Don't forget to use gift code Brewzle to get an extra $100 worth of coins to get you started. Let's get back to this next door in this bourbon hunt. And the next stop on this Elizabethtown trail is KSP Liquors. All the barrel picks. There's just one Rebel cash strength though. There's a Weller Special Reserve up there. $55. Have you had this 7-year Jim Beam?
Yeah, we just did a blind on that the other night.
What'd you think?
It was okay.
Somebody told me it was just pretty much this, the Jim Beam Black extra age with an age statement.
So we blinded it against Old Forester 1870, and I picked it over the 1870 for sure, which that's one of my least favorite Old Foresters anyway.
All the benchmarks, like again, like $16.99. Like, come on, give me a break. Single barrel price index, $24.99. Much more reasonable here. And this, it's the normal 13. I thought that one was the darker label. That's how it just messes with me. This is the Derringer we bought, I believe, and that cracked immediately. Now, the thing is this is dry. You got to soak this cork. I just shoved it in there, and I knew when I pushed it in, I was like, that took too much effort. So you got to kind of wiggle it out, and the first little wiggle, it just cracked right off because it was dry as could be. So that it was my fault for pushing an oversized dry cork into the bottle. Pursuit Distilling Co. Coffee brew whiskey. That's got to be a point of contention with Pursuit Spirits.
I was talking to one of them about that. They have an agreement with that company, I think, where they've kind of agreed to lay off of each other.
This also has all sorts of things floating in it.
Cold brew coffee.
Like that is, ooh, okay. I am not interested in that at all. More Bell Mead Reserves, which again, in Kentucky everywhere. The old chicken cock double oaked. I've got to get one sooner or later. Old Overholt 114 proof straight rye whiskey.
I'm curious about that one.
I got to buy it. We got to try it.
I've been looking for the old Overholt 10-year. That haven't found it anywhere yet.
Okay, so that's our mission, is to keep an eye out for Old Overholt 10-year. I mean, for 35 bucks, that's worth a try. Screw top. Here's the thing, is if I'm gonna have a screw top, I want it to be a plastic screw top, because the metal ones, like those benchmarks, I hate them because one little over tighten, one little over torque, and that top will never seal, and we just don't go through them fast enough, so they end up just like oxidizing and being awful. So I want a plastic screw top if I'm gonna get a screw top. What'd you find?
You ever had a Fern Creek barrel proof?
No, it looks a little light to be a barrel proof though. What did you find over here?
Look what we got. 1792 12-year.
$125. Any clue what the MSRP on that bottle
I
is?
have no idea.
Honestly, probably one of the first times I recall actually finding it. I do have one at home, but I got it in like the Alabama ABC lottery. First time I've ever seen one sitting on a shelf. I haven't finished the one I got. I do like it though. I just don't know if that's a good deal.
SRP of 50.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till I get a little better deal on it than that. Penny Packer. John Drew Rye. Looks 2 years old.
Well, it's not age stated, so it's got to be at least 4, right? I think if it's labeled straight bourbon whiskey
Does
with
it
no
say
age
straight?
statement. Yeah.
Also, I found nobody pays attention to all the rules. Maybe it is. It just looks a little light. Okay? All right? Not judging. I mean, I am judging. I'm judging on whether or not I want to buy it, and if it's that light, I usually don't. I'm always looking for something special. All the special stuff back here, what kind of prices we got on the that much special stuff, I'm assuming the prices are not where I want them to be.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, just go ahead for the George T. Stagg, even though I know if that one's sitting there, it's a no-no.
Yeah, it's a 11.
Yeah, okay. So let's get a little more reasonable with the Michter's barrel strength bourbon right there.
222.
Still just, what about a Russell's 13? Like, you don't even have it down. You're like, nobody's buying that. That's the price on it. Nobody's buying it.
I think it's like 250.
Didn't even see this. Old Louisville right there. Redwood, Foggy Burl single malt. I'm going to pass on that, but y'all go for it if you like it. What's his price on those? Are they're small batches, both of them?
One small batch, one single batch.
I mean, quote the price. I might be interested at the right one, but I can usually get those fairly regular.
Yeah, 244 for this one.
Yeah.
For the single. 105 after tax for your small batch.
After tax, 105. Always look at these Willets to make sure, because they've got some older ryes. One day I'm going to find somebody just put wood at the wrong place. Collaborative Carter Cellars. I've seen it. I'm very iffy on Cabernet finish whiskey. I have found, like, I did like the High West Cabernet finish. I do not like the Jefferson's Cabernet finish at all, like awful. I got to sample before I buy one of those for sure.
Well, especially that's $170.
Yeah, there's no way I like it that much. There's no way I like it $170. It's just not gonna happen. Thank you. Lots of goodies in there. That 1792 12-year was a real find. Like, you did good. I walked right by it. Didn't even say. I don't even look that hard at the 1792s. I should, because that 12-year was the one I like the best out of all the 1792s I've had thus far. But I do have a bottle open. I don't want to overpay for one. I'm trying to find it. If it would have been close to MSRP, I definitely would have snagged maybe one, maybe two. But excited to try this Old Overholt. If y'all have tried this one, let me know down in the comments if you think I'm gonna like it. And we're gonna head on to the next store. All right, y'all might notice, got a little hair trim, got a little buzz cut around my ears here since the last few videos. Now, we put out a bunch of them, but the last week or so, I've been a little shaggy. I'm sure y'all been seeing that over the last month. It's good to finally have a down day to get a little R&R and a haircut in, and it makes it better on these hot Kentucky days because, man, it's a scorcher today. Next door is Kroger Wine and Spirits here. Now, I've been talking to a lot of folks in Kentucky that do a lot of bourbon hunting, and they're like, the Krogers are actually great places if you want to try to find bottles at MSRP. I mean, you got to get lucky and just swing by when they have them. But if you do indeed get lucky, you're going to get a good deal on them, because with a big store like this, they're not trying to make all their money from allocation. Most of these small liquor stores don't have huge margins. They're trying to raise their margins on the desirable bottles. Here at Kroger, they just want to get rid of them like they're anything else. Like Buffalo Trace there for 30 bucks. I think that's roughly MSRP these days, right? Knob Creek 10 Rye's back there if you haven't had one. 10-year-old Knob Creek Rye. I think that's a new release, and they haven't really shipped many of them yet. So I just bought one. Really hard to find. Now you got me looking at all these 1792s to make sure there wasn't a drop on some 12s here lately or something, seeing how that guy had them.
I have some foolproof.
Foolproof over there? I'll have to check that out. Let me get one of those 10-year ryes down, if you would, for you, for being my tour guide
thanks,
today.
sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great day.
I can't wait to try the Knob Creek 10 Rye. It's been sitting on the bar, like I bought it weeks ago at this point, I think. And I just haven't popped it open yet because I've been going through all of those craft bottles that we've bought on the road trip that I'm currently on. I definitely need to crack that one open because, like I said, I've been digging those aged ryes. So Old Overholt is a Jim Beam brand as well. And so we've been loaded up on Jim Beam ryes, apparently. Not old ryes, but we got a 10-year and we got a 4-year 114. So I don't know if I've ever had a Jim Beam rye. I don't know if I've ever had a Knob Creek rye. Maybe. I just don't. It did not stand out enough for me to remember having a Knob Creek rye. But we're gonna try it at 10 years old.
Knob Creek Rye to me makes a great old fashioned. I love like a chocolate covered cherry note, and that's what I get when I make an old fashioned with a Knob Creek Rye.
I bet that 10 year is gonna be good in old fashioned too. I mean, it's gonna be good neat, but even better than old fashioned. Obviously a little bit of an elevated price, but cheap enough to mix still. All right, on to the next store. All right, now we're getting into big chain liquors here with Liquor Barn. I'm just not 100% sure I've ever been in a Liquor Barn. I think I have. I can't remember all the liquor stores. I've been in so many liquor stores, I don't recall, but I am about to be in a Liquor Barn, 100%. Single barrel Knob Creeks, New Riff Rye, Old Soul Pick. Nice. It's a little cheaper here with the 12, but still more than I've seen it. Like I've seen that for $45. It's possible I'm misremembering, but I think we saw those at Evergreen for like 45 bucks. A Overholt straight rye whiskey. Monongahela. What's a Monongahela?
Monongahela is a river.
Okay.
It runs through Pennsylvania.
Burke's Spring Bottle and Bond, an original Burke family historic recipe. Does it say they distill it anywhere on that label?
Distilled for Burke Spring Distillery by Kentucky Artisan.
Okay, so they contract distilled it somewhere, but it's
Kentucky
their
Artisan.
recipe. I think that's worth a try. We'll buy that one. It's best if you distill your own stuff. Second best is you contract distill it. At least maybe it's your recipe. It's something unique. It's something different. It's not just sourcing a bunch of barrels. Third best is you bought some interesting things and you blended them, finished them, did some stuff with it. So that's my order of priority of interest. And this one is second on that priority list. So I'll give it a try. I mean, it's $63. That's not the worst price for a craft product. Another McTavish bottled and bond, 7 years old.
That's actually not bad.
Distilled by Midwest Grain Products, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's good MGP.
One of the best values in bourbon right there.
Old JTS Brown, another plastic screw top down there. Southern Star Paragons, pretty solid weeder. This was the Hunter and Scott. Distilled, aged, and bottled by Reservoir Distillery, Richmond, Virginia. $46. There is no age. So it's got some color. No age concerns me a little. So this is a wheated bourbon. All right, we're gonna try that one too. You found your 10-year Heaven's Door right there. I've got one at the house. I liked it.
I tried it the other day. I just don't know if I want to drop a hundo on it. Might have to pass on that on this trip.
Midway Distilling Company. Some sort of salterness finished rye whiskey.
If you're a college basketball fan,
Sure.
which I'm a Louisville Cardinal fan. Russ Smith played on the 2013 championship team.
Okay.
This is his bourbon that he started.
Is it good?
I've only tried it once. It was at a tailgate. So I don't feel like it was a good representation for me to be able to give it.
So in other words, he did not like it. I got it.
I'm not saying I didn't like it.
No. Here's the thing: is if you're at a tailgate, if you're in if you're in the Antarctic, if you're in the frozen tundra, if you're in a jungle, and you liked it, you would be like, man, I liked it. If you didn't like it, you would be like, let me find a reason why maybe I didn't like it. And we were in harsh conditions. We had drank a lot. We were in a parking lot. It was warm. He didn't like it.
I will say this: I did not hate it. But when you're drinking whiskey out of a solo cup, and you've had a few other things to drink
fair
and
point.
eat.
I do that sometimes too. I'm just not giving him a hard time. I do the same thing. I'll hedge it. I'll be like, okay, maybe it was the environment. Solo cups, definitely not the best way to enjoy whiskey. I mean, you can enjoy it that way. Definitely not the best way to try to judge how much you like it. You had Burton James. Burton James, I assume, is somebody I'm supposed to know. Looks like a baseball player or something. I'm all for transparency, but that's like, let's throw so much they're not going to read it. But it's baseball themed. I mean, you can see they've got this almost like a baseball score, like a vintage. So I'm assuming Burton James. It says something about rookie season, fireman. I don't know. Somebody tell me if that one's good, and I missed out. Any of these. That's a fancy bottle right there. Navigator straight bourbon whiskey. Is it actually shaped like that, or does that thing make it seem that way? I think that thing makes it seem that way. It's not like conical on the top. 93 points from somebody. It is bottled by them.
Have you had any of the Ingram?
We tried it. It was actually really good. So I want to try more of their stuff, maybe higher proof, maybe a little older. Mm-hmm. But I liked what I saw from them so far. Right here, these barrel orange labels, especially the store pick ones. I've loved those, but I have to try them now because a lot of them have Dickel in them, and I just have to try them. If they can hide the Dickel, fine. If not, I don't want it. Angel's Envy Cellar Collection.
Got that at home.
It's a sampler pack, so they're small bottles.
Yes. There's the Buckner's 10. I mentioned the 13 earlier.
10, and there's the 8 right there. Yeah. 10 over here. Price is just up there.
This is actually a really good rye.
The Bush Creek Railroad rye?
Brush Creek. It's MGP. They ship it out to Brush Creek Ranch on a train. So that's the deal there. Okay. But it's actually pretty daggone good stuff.
All right, so I think I'm going to grab this Birch Springs, so we'll have something to try here. Look at the cute little pin hooks. Like they've started doing samples. More craft should do this right here. You ought to be able to come in and get a sample of the craft, and then you can come back and buy the bottle. Like that should be a normal thing for sure. Like that's just smart because so many of these are pricey. Like charge me $12 for one. You make higher margins on, hopefully on the bottle because you're charging more per ounce, but then we could get a sample of it. I don't know the feasibility behind that. I don't know the logistics, the actual cost to a small distillery to try to produce those. So I understand I don't know the economy of that, but I'm just saying even tiny little bottles like these mini samplers here are just a good idea. Thank you, you too. All right, starting to stack up some bottles. The budget's starting to rack up a little bit, but we're gonna see what other stores we can find here in Elizabethtown. Elizabethton?
Elizabethtown.
Is it Elizabethtown? That W matters.
Or E-Town.
E-Town's
as we like to say around
it's
here.
so long they had to show. Of course they had to shorten it. Let's see what the next store is. I don't even know what the next one is, but we're gonna look. They got to be a few laying around somewhere. All right, next stop, Radcliff Liquors, attached to a convenience store, so you know it's gonna be good. Buffalo Trace, 2 for $65. Benchmark stuff kind of spread out over here. Always check.
I had to check that early times just to be sure.
Nope. No black tops. Not gonna happen anymore. Somebody let me know if you found an early times black top this year, because I think they might all be gone. There's an FAEO2 right there, man. You don't see those too much anymore. Casey Jones. I've heard some folks say good things about Casey Jones. I've made some jokes about it. I haven't tried it. I just made the joke that I'm not buying whiskey from a Ninja Turtles character. You had to be of the right era to get that joke. I think Casey Jones was a baseball player. What is this? Hooper's Craft. Blue label? Isn't their label normally white? I don't know why this jumped out at me here. I don't know. The 100, the Cooper's Craft 100, really good bottle. There's your Dickel Tabasco. If you're looking for one of those, if you ever wanted that kind of punishment.
Can't say that I'm looking for one.
Dickel Tabasco. What's the price on a 12-year, $17.92?
Yeah, it's $2.49.
Yeah, that's gonna be too rich for my blood.
Price on the Old Forester 1924.
I think it's $4.99.
All right, appreciate it. Thank y'all. All right, yeah, like a lot of stores, I mean, they got a bunch of cool stuff, but just,
They don't want to sell it.
well, I mean, they're trying to maximize their margins. Like, they believe, liquor stores are tough businesses. It's not easy. Like, I don't think people realize how hard that is, how low the margins are, how much volume you actually have to move to keep a liquor store like this in business, especially if you don't want to be the guy that's sitting behind the counter 24/7 or however long you're open. So their thought is we've got these desirable bottles. Let's just wait until somebody's willing to pay whatever they're worth so that we can increase our margins, and those will be nice little bonuses we could take home. I tend to be of the theory that if you reward your loyal customers, if you do cool stuff, if you do events, like that is a better model to get more people in your store more frequently, buying barrel picks, buying your other products. And then, when you have allocation, you reward those customers. There's a debate to go either way. I guess it depends on where your store is, what kind of store it is, what kind of customer base you actually have. Like, if people are just coming in for Fireball and they never come in for barrel picks, and you bought one and the barrel pick didn't sell and you're having a hard time moving them and you just don't have that customer base, then the secondary market for those bottles, probably what's going to be in your best interest. But that's, unfortunately, that's just business. Appreciate our tour guide here. Give them the pitch for So Into Bourbon.
So Into Bourbon on YouTube, SOIN, the number 2 Bourbon, all one word. I've gotten some grief from Mr. Brewzle here for our name.
It's a tough name. You got it on your shirt there. I'll zoom in so you can see it.
Check us out. We do bourbon and whiskey reviews, and we have a good time doing it.
All right, had a good time. We bought some bottles, some exciting craft things we're going to try here as well. Didn't find anything super rare here, but it's tough in Kentucky. Like, you can find them, but you really got to build some relationships with stores because everybody that comes through here is hunting for bourbon. So they're either gone or they're marked up. Appreciate y'all watching all the way till the end of this one. I think this is gonna be the last bourbon hunt on this leg of my Kentucky trip. So who knows where the next one will be? Probably be a different state. We're trying to get some states we haven't hit yet. We did get into South Carolina, so we checked that one off, although we're gonna do a lot more hunting in South Carolina for sure. I think we might be in the Midwest, might get a state or two as well there that we haven't done. So again, appreciate y'all watching. Hit me with a bottle kill down in the comments. See y'all in the next one.